A deep hum resonated throughout the Arcadia, a sleek spaceship of the Allari Empire. The crew, a blend of sleek blue-skinned beings, monitored their screens as they approached Earth. Commander Talia, a seasoned veteran, studied the planet from the viewport, his expression a mixture of curiosity and caution. "Commander, we're receiving a transmission from Earth," reported Ensign Lyra, her voice steady despite the tension. The screen flickered, revealing a human diplomat, Dr. Ethan Hart. His warm smile and composed demeanor caught the crew off guard. "Welcome to Earth, Arcadia. I am Dr. Hart, here to extend our greetings and offer any assistance you may need." Talia's eyes narrowed as he scrutinized the human. "Thank you, Dr. Hart. We come in peace and seek to establish diplomatic relations. However, we require assistance with our ship's systems." As Talia continued the conversation, his daughter Talia, a young Allari with an adventurous spirit, watched intently. Her curiosity about humans was piqued, and she felt an inexplicable pull toward Dr. Hart. The ship docked, and the crew prepared for their first encounter with humanity. The Arcadia descended gently into Earth's atmosphere, its shimmering exterior reflecting the planet's sunlight. The landing was smooth, guided by Earth's ground control. The docking bay was bustling with activity as the Allari prepared to disembark. Talia stood at the front of the group, his presence commanding and confident. Talia was just behind him, her heart pounding with anticipation. The bay doors opened, revealing a delegation of humans waiting to greet them. Dr. Hart stood at the forefront, his welcoming smile ever present. As the Allari stepped onto Earth for the first time, Talia couldn't help but feel a sense of awe. The air was different, filled with unfamiliar scents and sounds. She watched as her father approached Dr. Hart, extending his hand in a gesture of goodwill. "Commander Talia," Dr. Hart said warmly as they shook hands, "welcome to Earth. We are honored to have you here." "Thank you, Dr. Hart," Talia replied, his tone formal yet respectful. "We appreciate your hospitality and look forward to our collaboration." Talia observed the exchange with keen interest. Her attention was drawn to Dr. Hart's demeanor, confident yet kind, professional yet approachable. When it was her turn to introduce herself, she stepped forward, her nerves tempered by curiosity. "I am Talia, daughter of Commander Talia," she said, trying to keep her voice steady. Dr. Hart turned his warm gaze to her. "A pleasure to meet you, Talia. I hope we can learn much from each other." Talia felt a strange heat rise within her at his words, an unfamiliar sensation that she couldn't quite place. She smiled politely, hiding her confusion. "I look forward to it." As the delegations mingled, discussing technology and culture, Talia found herself gravitating towards Dr. Hart. His presence was magnetic, and she couldn't deny the growing curiosity and attraction she felt. She watched as he engaged with her people, his genuine interest and respect evident in every interaction. The following days were filled with exchanges of knowledge and culture. The humans showcased their advancements in technology, art, and medicine. In return, the Allari shared their wisdom in energy manipulation and space travel. The atmosphere was one of mutual respect and eagerness to learn. Talia spent more time with Dr. Hart, fascinated by his insights and perspective. They toured Earth's landmarks, from bustling cities to serene natural wonders. Each moment together deepened Talia's inexplicable attraction to him. One evening, as they walked through a tranquil park, Talia confided in Dr. Hart. "I've never felt this way before. There's something about you, about humans, that stirs something deep within me." Dr. Hart looked at her with understanding. "Talia, perhaps it's the novelty of our differences, or maybe there's something more profound at play. Whatever it is, I'm glad we're here together." As they strolled through the park, the air was filled with the scent of blooming flowers and the sounds of distant laughter. The sun was setting, casting a golden hue over everything. Talia felt a sense of calm and contentment she had never experienced before. Dr. Hart led her to a bench overlooking a serene pond. They sat down, and Talia took a moment to gather her thoughts. She glanced at him, his profile illuminated by the soft light, and felt the heat within her intensify. "Ethan," she began, using his first name for the first time, "I can't help but feel a deep connection to you and your people. It's more than just curiosity. It's something primal." Dr. Hart turned to her, his expression thoughtful. Talia, I feel it too. There's an energy between us that's undeniable. Maybe it's because we're exploring uncharted territory both literally and figuratively. Talia nodded, grateful for his understanding. It's confusing, but also exciting. I want to learn more about you, about humans, and about these feelings. Dr. Hart reached out and gently took her hand. Then let's explore it together, Talia. We have much to learn from each other, and I'm here for you. Talia felt a surge of warmth at his touch, her heart racing. She smiled, feeling a sense of belonging and connection she had never known. As they continued to talk, sharing stories and dreams, Talia realized that her journey to Earth was just the beginning of a much deeper adventure. Their conversations grew more personal, delving into their hopes and fears, their cultures, and their lives. Talia learned about Dr. Hart's passion for diplomacy and his love for Earth's diverse beauty. In turn, she shared her dreams of exploring the universe and her desire to bridge the gap between their species. As the days passed, Talia's attraction to Dr. Hart grew stronger. She found herself looking forward to their time together, cherishing every moment. The heat within her was now a constant presence, a reminder of the powerful connection they shared. The days following the Allari's arrival on Earth were a whirlwind of activity. Both civilizations were eager to share their knowledge and learn from one another. The Arcadia's landing site became a hub of interaction, with scientists, diplomats, and cultural representatives exchanging ideas and innovations. Talia found herself at the center of many of these exchanges, often accompanied by Dr. Hart. They attended presentations, toured laboratories, and explored cultural exhibitions. Each day brought new discoveries and deepened their understanding of each other's worlds. One afternoon, Talia and Dr. Hart visited a state-of-the-art medical facility in New York. The human doctors were eager to demonstrate their latest advancements in biotechnology, while the Allari shared their expertise in energy-based healing techniques. Dr. Emily Park, a leading biotechnologist, guided them through the lab. We've recently developed a nanobot technology that can target and repair damaged cells at a molecular level, she explained, showing them a holographic display of the nanobots in action. Talia was impressed. This is remarkable. Our energy manipulation can heal, but this level of precision is extraordinary. Dr. Hart nodded. It's a perfect example of how our technologies can complement each other. Imagine combining our nanobots with your energy healing. The possibilities are endless. As they continued their tour, Talia and Dr. Hart exchanged ideas, envisioning a future where their civilizations worked together to solve complex problems. The bond between them grew stronger with each shared experience, their mutual respect and admiration deepening. In the evening, Talia and Dr. Hart attended a cultural exhibition showcasing Earth's diverse art and music. Talia was captivated by the vibrant colors and rhythms, feeling an emotional connection to the human expressions of creativity. They stood before a painting depicting a stunning landscape, the artist's use of color and light evoking a sense of awe. Art has a way of transcending boundaries, Dr. Hart said softly. It speaks to our shared humanity. Talia nodded, moved by his words. It's beautiful. It reminds me that despite our differences, we share a common desire to create and connect. As the night progressed, they enjoyed performances of traditional and modern music, the melodies weaving a tapestry of Earth's cultural heritage. Talia felt the heat within her intensify, her attraction to Dr. Hart growing with each passing moment. After the exhibition, they walked through a nearby park, the cool night air a welcome contrast to the day's activities. Talia took a deep breath, gathering her courage. Ethan, I can't ignore these feelings any longer. There's something about you, about humans, that stirs something deep within me. Dr. Hart stopped and turned to her, his expression serious yet tender. Talia, I feel it too. There's an undeniable connection between us, something profound and powerful. I don't fully understand it, but I know it's real. Talia felt a surge of relief and gratitude. Thank you for understanding. It's been overwhelming, but I feel a sense of belonging with you. Dr. Hart gently took her hand. We'll navigate this together, Talia. Whatever comes our way, we'll face it as one. Their bond solidified in that moment, a promise of unity and strength. They continued their walk hand in hand, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. The next few days were a blur of emotions for Talia. Her feelings for Dr. Hart had intensified, becoming almost unbearable. She found it increasingly difficult to focus on her duties, her thoughts consumed by him. Her body reacted in ways she didn't fully understand, a primal urge she couldn't control. One night, she sought out the ship's medical officer, Dr. Seren, hoping for answers. "I don't know what's happening to me, Seren. I feel this overwhelming heat whenever I'm near Dr. Hart." Seren examined her, his brow furrowing in concern. "Talia, it seems you're experiencing a rare Allari condition triggered by strong emotions and new stimuli. It intensifies attraction and desire." Talia's eyes widened. "Is there a cure?" Seren shook his head. "Not a cure, but you must manage it. It can be overwhelming, but with time and understanding, you can control it." Talia nodded, determined to face her condition. She sought out Dr. Hart, knowing she needed to be honest with him. Finding Dr. Hart in the ship's observation deck, Talia approached him with a mix of anxiety and determination. "Dr. Hart, I need to talk to you." He turned, his eyes filled with concern. "Of course, Talia. What's on your mind?" She took a deep breath, explaining her condition and the overwhelming attraction she felt. "I don't want this to affect our mission or our friendship, but I needed you to know." Dr. Hart listened intently, his expression thoughtful. "Talia, I appreciate your honesty. I value our connection and want to help you through this." Relieved by his understanding, Talia felt a weight lift off her shoulders. They spent the evening discussing their feelings and how to move forward, strengthening their bond. The following day, Talia and Dr. Hart resumed their work, more determined than ever to build a strong alliance between their people. They continued to attend meetings and cultural exchanges, their connection growing with each shared experience. However, Talia's condition remained a constant presence, her attraction to Dr. Hart fueling a deep, primal need. She found solace in his understanding and support, knowing they were in this together. One evening, as they worked late into the night on a joint project, Talia felt the heat within her become almost unbearable. She looked at Dr. Hart, his focus on their work, and felt a surge of desire. "Ethan, I need a moment," she said, her voice strained. Dr. Hart looked up, concern in his eyes. "Talia, are you all right?" She shook her head, struggling to maintain control. "It's the heat. It's overwhelming." Dr. Hart moved closer, his presence soothing yet intensifying her desire. "Talia, take deep breaths. Focus on something else. We'll get through this." His calm, reassuring tone helped her regain some control. She focused on his voice, letting it guide her through the storm of emotions. Slowly, the intensity began to subside, leaving her exhausted but grateful. "Thank you, Ethan," she said, her voice barely above a whisper. He smiled gently. "We're in this together, Talia. Remember that." Their bond grew stronger with each challenge they faced, a testament to their resilience and commitment. Talia knew that whatever the future held, they would face it together, united in purpose and spirit. As Talia and Dr. Hart grew closer, their relationship blossoming amidst their diplomatic efforts, a new threat loomed on the horizon. Unbeknownst to the Allari and humans, a hostile alien species, the Kraith, had been observing their interactions. The Kraith, a warlike race, saw the growing alliance as a threat to their dominance in the galaxy. A Kraith scout ship, sleek and menacing, approached Earth, cloaked and undetected. Its mission was to gather intelligence and disrupt the budding alliance. The Kraith were ruthless and efficient, their soldiers trained for combat and espionage. On the Arcadia, Talia and Dr. Hart remained oblivious to the impending danger. They continued their work, fostering cooperation between their peoples. The atmosphere aboard the ship was one of optimism and progress. Late one night, as the Arcadia's crew slept, the Kraith struck. Explosions rocked the ship, alarms blaring as the crew scrambled to respond. Talia and Dr. Hart were jolted awake, their initial confusion quickly giving way to urgency. "Commander, we're under attack," shouted Ensign Lyra, her voice filled with urgency as she relayed the information to Talek. Talek barked orders, rallying his crew. "Defensive positions. We need to repel the attackers and protect our guests." Talia and Dr. Hart fought side by side, their bond strengthening in the face of adversity. They navigated the ship's corridors, battling Kraith soldiers and trying to reach the command center. As they made their way through the chaos, Talia felt the heat within her flare, her attraction to Dr. Hart fueling her determination. She fought with a ferocity she had never known, driven by a primal need to protect him. Dr. Hart, impressed by Talia's bravery, found himself equally determined to safeguard her. They moved as one, their synergy evident as they confronted the Kraith invaders. The battle raged on, the Arcadia's corridors echoing with the sounds of combat. Talia and Dr. Hart reached the command center, where Talia was coordinating the defense. The situation was dire, with the Kraith's superior numbers threatening to overwhelm them. "Commander, we need to find a way to disable their ship," Dr. Hart suggested, his mind racing with possible strategies. Talia nodded, his expression grim. "Agreed. We can't hold them off indefinitely. Talia, Dr. Hart, you two are our best chance. Can you lead a strike team to their ship and take out their main systems?" Talia and Dr. Hart exchanged a determined look. "We'll do it," Talia said, her voice resolute. Gathering a team of skilled fighters, they prepared for the perilous mission. As they made their way to the Kraith ship, Talia felt a mix of fear and determination. She knew the stakes were high, but with Dr. Hart by her side, she was ready to face whatever lay ahead. The Kraith ship loomed before them, a dark and imposing presence. Talia and Dr. Hart led the strike team aboard, their objective clear: disable the ship's systems and neutralize the threat. The corridors were dimly lit and filled with the sounds of the enemy. They moved swiftly and silently, taking out Kraith soldiers with precision. As they approached the ship's main systems, they encountered heavy resistance. The Kraith commander, a formidable warrior, blocked their path. Talia's heart raced as she prepared to face the commander. "Ethan, I'll hold him off. You plant the charges." Dr. Hart nodded, his expression serious. "Be careful, Talia." The battle was fierce. Talia's agility and determination pitted against the commander's brute strength. Meanwhile, Dr. Hart worked quickly, setting charges on critical systems. "Talia, we're almost there," Dr. Hart shouted, his voice cutting through the chaos. With a final, decisive move, Talia defeated the Kraith commander. She joined Dr. Hart, helping him finish setting the charges. As the countdown began, they raced to escape the ship. "Go, go, go," Talia urged as they returned to the Arcadia, guiding his crew to safety. The Arcadia's engines roared to life, propelling the ship away from the dying Kraith vessel. As they escaped the explosion, the crew cheered, their victory hard won. Talia and Dr. Hart embraced, their bond stronger than ever. They had faced the threat together and emerged victorious, their unity a testament to their strength and resilience. In the aftermath of the battle, the Allari and humans solidified their alliance, their shared experiences forging an unbreakable bond. Talia and Dr. Hart's relationship continued to deepen, their love a beacon of hope and determination in an uncertain universe. As they looked to the future, Talia knew that with Dr. Hart by her side, they could face any challenge the cosmos threw their way. Together, they were unstoppable. Despite their victory, the aftermath of the battle weighed heavily on the crew. The Arcadia was severely damaged, and the casualties were a sobering reminder of the cost of their struggle. The Allari and human alliance had been tested, and it was clear that more challenges lay ahead. As repairs began, Talia and Dr. Hart found themselves reflecting on the recent events. They stood in the ship's observation deck, looking out at the stars. The silence between them was comfortable, filled with unspoken understanding. "Ethan," Talia said softly, breaking the silence, "do you think we'll ever find lasting peace?" Dr. Hart turned to her, his expression thoughtful. "I believe it's possible, Talia, but it will require continued cooperation and understanding. We have to be willing to face whatever comes our way, together." Talia nodded, her gaze returning to the stars. "I'm glad we're in this together. I don't know what the future holds, but I know we'll face it side by side." Their conversation was interrupted by a call from the command center. "Commander Talia to Talia and Dr. Hart. Please report to the briefing room." They exchanged a glance, a mixture of curiosity and concern. Making their way to the briefing room, they found Talia and several senior officers gathered around a holographic display. "What's the situation, Father?" Talia asked, noting the tension in the room. Talia gestured to the display, which showed a map of the galaxy with several highlighted regions. "We've intercepted communications suggesting that the Kraith are regrouping. They see our alliance as a significant threat and are likely planning a larger assault." Dr. Hart frowned. "We need to strengthen our defenses and reach out to potential allies. The more unified we are, the harder it will be for the Kraith to defeat us." Talia nodded in agreement. "We've already begun contacting other civilizations in the region. It's crucial that we present a united front. Talia, Dr. Hart, I need you both to lead these diplomatic efforts. Your bond and success in the recent battle have made you symbols of our alliance's strength." Talia felt a surge of determination. "We'll do everything we can to secure more allies and prepare for whatever the Kraith throw at us." The following weeks were a flurry of activity. Talia and Dr. Hart traveled to neighboring star systems, meeting with leaders and representatives. They shared their experiences, highlighting the benefits of cooperation and the threat posed by the Kraith. Their efforts bore fruit, as more civilizations pledged their support. The alliance grew, a diverse coalition of species united by a common goal. The Allari and humans worked tirelessly to integrate their technologies and strategies, preparing for the inevitable confrontation. During this time, Talia and Dr. Hart's relationship continued to deepen. They found strength in each other, their love a beacon of hope amidst the uncertainty. They knew that their bond was more than just personal. It was a symbol of the unity they sought to achieve. One evening, as they sat together in the observation deck, Talia took Dr. Hart's hand. "Ethan, no matter what happens, I'm grateful for you. You've given me hope and strength when I needed it most." Dr. Hart smiled, his eyes filled with affection. "And you've shown me the power of unity and resilience. Together, we've accomplished so much. I know we can face any challenge that comes our way." As they looked out at the stars, they felt a renewed sense of purpose. The path ahead was uncertain, but they were ready to face it together, united in their mission and their love. The turning point had come, and they were prepared to lead their people toward a brighter future. The tension aboard the Arcadia was palpable as the Alliance prepared for the inevitable Kraith assault. The newly formed coalition, consisting of diverse civilizations with unique strengths and technologies, worked tirelessly to fortify their defenses and coordinate their strategies. The command center buzzed with activity, holographic displays illuminating the faces of determined leaders. Talia and Dr. Hart stood at the forefront of these efforts, their leadership and bond inspiring confidence in those around them. They spent countless hours in strategy sessions, ensuring that every detail of their plan was meticulously accounted for. As the Alliance fleet gathered in a remote sector of the galaxy, the atmosphere was charged with anticipation. Ships of various shapes and sizes, each representing a different civilization, formed an impressive armada. The sight was both awe-inspiring and a stark reminder of the impending battle. In the Arcadia's war room, Talia, Dr. Hart, Talia, and other key leaders reviewed the final battle plan. The holographic display showed the Kraith fleet's projected approach and the Alliance's defensive positions. "Our primary objective is to disable their command ship," Talia explained, pointing to the central vessel in the Kraith formation. "Without it, their forces will be thrown into disarray." Dr. Hart nodded, his expression focused. "We need to coordinate our attacks to create an opening. Timing and precision are crucial." As the briefing concluded, Talia felt a surge of determination. She knew the stakes were high, but the Alliance's unity gave her hope. She turned to Dr. Hart, who met her gaze with unwavering resolve. "We're ready for this," Talia said, her voice steady. Dr. Hart squeezed her hand. "We've come this far together, Talia. Let's see this through to the end." The fleet moved into position, the vast expanse of space filled with the hum of engines and the glow of energy shields. The Kraith fleet appeared on the horizon, a dark and formidable presence. The moment of truth had arrived. "All ships, prepare for engagement," Talia's voice echoed through the comms. "Remember, we fight for our future, for our unity. Stay strong and stay focused." The battle commenced with a ferocity that shook the very fabric of space. The Alliance fleet unleashed a barrage of energy beams, missiles, and projectiles, lighting up the darkness with brilliant flashes of light. The Kraith responded in kind, their ships cutting through the chaos with ruthless efficiency. Talia and Dr. Hart led a strike team aboard a sleek, fast attack craft, their target, the Kraith command ship. The journey through the battlefield was perilous, enemy fire streaking past them as they weaved through the melee. "Stay on course," Talia urged the pilot, her eyes fixed on their objective. As they approached the command ship, the Kraith defenses intensified. The attack craft shuddered under the onslaught, but the pilot skillfully maneuvered through the danger. They reached the ship's hull and initiated the docking sequence, a tense silence filling the cabin. "Prepare for boarding," Dr. Hart said, his voice calm but filled with determination. The airlock opened with a hiss, and the strike team moved swiftly, entering the enemy vessel. The corridors were dimly lit and eerily silent, a stark contrast to the chaos outside. Talia led the way, her senses on high alert. Their mission was clear: disable the ship's command center and neutralize its leadership. They navigated the labyrinthine corridors, encountering pockets of resistance, but dispatching the Kraith soldiers with precision and efficiency. As they neared the command center, the resistance grew fiercer. The Kraith commander, a towering figure of menace, blocked their path, his eyes glowing with malice. "This is the end for you," he growled, drawing his weapon. Talia stepped forward, her resolve unwavering. "No, it ends with your defeat." The battle was intense, the confined space adding to the ferocity. Talia's agility and skill were matched by the commander's brute strength. Meanwhile, Dr. Hart and the team focused on reaching the command center's controls. "Now, Talia!" Dr. Hart shouted, signaling the critical moment. With a final, decisive move, Talia disarmed the commander and delivered a powerful strike, knocking him unconscious. She joined Dr. Hart, who was already working to disable the ship's systems. "We need to plant the charges and get out of here," Dr. Hart instructed, his fingers flying over the controls. They set the charges on key systems and began their escape, the countdown ticking ominously in their ears. The corridors echoed with alarms, the ship's impending destruction imminent. "Move, move, move," Talia urged, leading the team back to their attack craft. They reached the craft just as the charges detonated, the shockwave propelling them away from the Kraith vessel. The command ship imploded, a brilliant flash of light signaling the Alliance's victory. Cheers erupted across the comms as the Alliance fleet witnessed the destruction of the enemy command ship. The Kraith forces, leaderless and disoriented, began to retreat. "We did it," Talia said, her voice filled with relief and triumph. Dr. Hart smiled, his eyes reflecting his pride and love for her. "We did it together." The victory over the Kraith command ship had been hard won, but the battle was not yet over. The remaining Kraith forces, though leaderless, were still formidable, and the Alliance fleet continued to engage them in a fierce struggle. As the Arcadia and its allies pressed their advantage, Talia and Dr. Hart's strike team returned to their ship, their spirits lifted by their success. However, their joy was tempered by the knowledge that they still faced significant dangers. "Commander Talek, this is Talia. The Kraith command ship has been neutralized. What's our next move?" Talia communicated through the comms. Talek's voice came through, steady and resolute. "Excellent work, Talia. Focus on supporting our fleet and mopping up the remaining Kraith forces. We need to secure this victory." The Arcadia's crew coordinated their efforts, targeting the remaining Kraith ships with precision strikes. The Alliance fleet worked in unison, their combined firepower overwhelming the disoriented enemy. In the midst of the chaos, Talia and Dr. Hart continued to lead their team, their bond and determination driving them forward. They moved from ship to ship, assisting wherever they were needed, their actions inspiring those around them. One evening, as the ship's repairs continued, Talia and Dr. Hart took a moment to reflect on everything that had happened. They sat together in the Arcadia's observation deck, the stars shining brightly against the dark expanse of space. "Do you think we've seen the last of the Kraith?" Talia asked, her voice tinged with both hope and concern. Dr. Hart shook his head. "It's hard to say. but I believe we've dealt them a significant blow. The alliance we've formed is strong, and as long as we stand together, we can face whatever comes our way. Sometimes it feels like we're fighting an endless battle, Talia said, her voice reflective. Dr. Hart put his arm around her, drawing her close. It does, but every step we take, every victory, no matter how small, brings us closer to lasting peace. And we have each other to lean on. Talia smiled, feeling a deep sense of love and gratitude. You're right. Together, we can face anything. I'm ready for whatever comes next as long as we're together. Dr. Hart leaned in, pressing a gentle kiss to her forehead. Always. In a ceremony aboard the Arcadia, representatives from the allied species gathered once more to celebrate their triumph and reaffirm their commitment to unity. Talia and Dr. Hart stood at the center of the gathering, their presence a symbol of the alliance's strength and potential. Today, we celebrate not just a victory in battle, but a victory for our shared future, Talia declared, his voice resonating with pride and hope. We have proven that through unity and cooperation, we can overcome any challenge. Let this be the foundation of a brighter future for all our peoples. The crowd erupted in applause, the energy in the room electric. Talia felt a swell of pride and emotion, knowing that their hard work had led to this moment. With their bond unbreakable and their mission clear, Talia and Dr. Hart faced the dawn of a new era. Together, they would continue to build a future of peace, unity, and hope for all the peoples of the galaxy.